Our next inductee this afternoon is Vlad Panio.
The Ukrainian Musicians Association is proud to induct Vlad Panio into the Ukrainian Musicians Hall of Fame. The following is a biography written by Vlad himself. I was born in Yorkton, Saskatchewan on October 17, 1976. I grew up in Ituna, Saskatchewan, and to this date I have many fond memories and positive feelings about my childhood days there. In school, I always wanted to be better in sports, but I guess my talents were in music, for which I am very thankful. Because my music talent gave my life a completely new direction later on, and gave me opportunities that I wouldn't have had otherwise. When I was a child, I also admired and had a passion for the teaching profession. When I became a teenager, I was enrolled into St. Vlad's College in Roblin, Manitoba. I sang in the choir, did some Ukrainian dancing, and played in the college band. I do give St. Vlad's credit for the training I received regarding my Ukrainian culture. We traveled a lot performing concerts in various towns and cities. After Roblin, I attended Ituna High School for my grade 12. It was at this time, two of my high school friends, along with my brother John and I, got together in 1963 to 64 to form a musical group to play for some school dances, anniversaries, and so on. Later on, after working for the Farm Credit Corporation for 3.5 years, Brother Dave and I moved to Winnipeg to begin classes in the fall of 1969 at the University of Manitoba. For the first time in my life, there was hope for becoming a teacher. Dave and I even played for a couple of dances at the Ukrainian Hall on Main Street with a couple of other guys. At that time, Ukrainian music was very popular, and many recording artists, such as Mickey and Bunny, played in hotels. This is where I met Bill Woloshin and his Interlake Polka Kings. They were my idols, and one day I built up enough courage to audition for them. They liked what they heard, and I played with them a few times in hotels such as the Bell Hotel and the King's Hotel. This was the beginning of the Panio Brothers Band, because through Bill Woloshin, I met Herb Britton with UK Records. One day, I played a tape I made for him to see what he would say about making a record. The songs on the tape were Play, Oh Gypsy Play, and my own composition, I Once Had a Girl. He liked it and suggested I get the Interlake Polka Kings to back me up on the record. I could not accept his offer and decided to record these songs with my brothers Dave and John on a 45 RPM. Soon after that, Dave and I moved back to Regina, where we continued our education at the University of Regina and prepared to record our first album, Songs of Joy, which included Bill Luchishin on the drums, Henry Panagapko on violin. This was a very thrilling experience. The record was made and Herb Britton was satisfied. This was the beginning of a long musical career. When we returned to Regina, we began to play for weddings and dances. I sent a copy of our record to some radio stations, including one to Dan Chomlak of Camrose, Alberta. He liked the record and began playing it over the air on 7 different stations. Then one day, Dan needed a band to play for a dance after a Symboli contest at Kenora, Saskatchewan. Incidentally, I won a trophy during this contest for playing the Symboli and mouth organ at the same time. Talented fellow, eh? I won in the novelty category. Dan hired us for the dance and was impressed with our performance. We consequently did a show and dance at the Bonaventure Hotel in Edmonton. The show began with the Dawn River Dance song, where you could see 800 people in the audience. You couldn't hear a sound as we sang. It was totally unreal, unbelievable, and wonderful. I moved to Saskatchewan to take my first teaching job at St. Edward's School. I was assigned to a grade 4 classroom. I also taught music and Ukrainian language at various grade levels. I loved the job, and the kids loved me. My students did well at concerts and festivals. After a year, I decided to accept a grade 5 teaching position in Moose Jaw, and I drove to Regina for evening and summer classes. In '75, after graduating with a Bachelor of Education degree, I accepted a position with the Wolseley Catholic School Division as a principal of an elementary school. In '77, I was offered a teaching job in Humboldt, Saskatchewan. I taught grade 6 and Division 11 music. Later on, I accepted a grade 4 teaching position in Yorkton, Saskatchewan. The Panio Brothers Band played all over Saskatchewan as well as parts of Alberta and Manitoba during these years. Even today, I meet people who tell me that there aren't too many people out there that haven't heard of the Panio Brothers Band. I also distributed records and tapes all over Saskatchewan, Alberta, and Manitoba. I recorded my first solo album entitled Ukrainian Country on August 1st, 2020. After the first album, the Panio Brothers recorded 3 more albums, and I recorded 3 more CDs entitled Ukrainian Traditional, Ukrainian Favorites, and Vlad Panio Sings Country. The Panio Brothers were given a Legendary Achievement Award in 2010, Lifetime Achievement Award 2015, which was a great honor and reward for all that I have done in the field of Ukrainian music. It all began when my friends and brother John formed a musical group in Ituna, and when brother Dave and I moved to Winnipeg to attend university. As I mentioned earlier, I played with the Interlake Polka Kings for a short time and eventually created the Panio Brothers Band. I, however, must acknowledge that my Aunt Katie and Uncle Peter Bullich in Winnipeg were a great influence in creating an interest in Ukrainian music in my life, because they had a great collection of Ukrainian records which I listened to, and since Uncle Peter played the violin, I had an opportunity to play music as a young kid. I had an opportunity to play music with them in their home. Also, it was Aunt Katie who gave me my first accordion, which enabled me to be a self-taught accordion player. On July 2nd, 2010, the Panio Brothers were invited to play Ituna's 100th anniversary with John and Dave, Bill Luchician, Garnet Ripplinger, and Leonard Romanson. It has been great performing with the Panio Brothers Band, especially because of the great musicians we were able to get for our performances. My brother John passed away in 2015, but I still get musicians together once in a while to play at Danceland in Manitou Beach. I am also very happy to be back in the classroom once in a while to do substitute teaching. Vlad Panio passed away from a long battle with cancer on July 9th, 2022. His life was honored on CTV News, CBC News across the nation. They also honored Vlad and played his music on CBC Radio. Vlad is survived by his sons Craig Panio and wife Daphne, Curtis Panio, wife Nicole. He would be extremely honored with this induction and award. Vlad Panio, a true legend in his time. Vich Naya Pamyat.
I now ask Vlad's family to join me at the front, please.
thank you very much.
Closer.
I'll get closer. Thank you very much. It is an absolute honor to be here today accepting this award on behalf of our father. Special mention to a few important members that are here, family, Ernie and Dan Regas, Bill Luchishin, and John's daughter, Vlad Panio. You know, each of us have had an opportunity through a wedding or a party or a get-together just to pull out the guitar and the accordion and play a few songs. I mean, that was our childhood growing up all the time. And like in the speech there, he'd be honored to be here today accepting this award. It's fitting, very fitting that we're accepting it here in Dauphin. He never missed one single year coming to Dauphin, not one. This is an absolute perfect moment to accept this award on these grounds that are very sacred to our family, being here so many years. He was through Saskatchewan and Alberta and Manitoba. His passion was absolutely music. He loved it through and through, and it's an incredible honor, and we're very grateful. Thank you.
I'll just add, I want to thank Linda and the UMA for setting this up and everything that you guys have done and pulling this off and all the work that you've been doing. So I'd be very, very honored for this. Did an interview this morning on CBC Radio. They're covering it again. So it's Dad would be blown away, and we thank you guys very much.
Pam. Pam?
Turn around.
Turn around, yeah.